welcome back to the session 2 of the Momexa Sewalong. So today we're going to be doing cutting and interfacing. Today I've got Debbie with me, my sister.
Hi everyone.
So we're going to get started at 5 o'clock. So you've got 2 or 3 minutes to get ready. So if you want to, you can go grab a cup of tea. We just wanted to get logged on early so that everybody had like a few minutes to get on and get connected. So just bear with us for a couple of minutes. If you're watching this later, you can just kind of skip ahead to when we actually get started. So, hi Kathy, hi Jane. Got a few joining. Tickle Pink Stitchery, Anne, Logan, Shelley Mack. Oh, hi Shelley Mack. You mentioned earlier that you're going to be joining. Okay, so we've got a couple of minutes. We'll just wait for everybody. Ooh, Liz in London, hiya. I'm surprised how many people are here from the UK. I like that. It's normally not so. I don't know if there's not as many British bag makers or something, but I always feel like there's a lot more in America than there is in Britain. So that's quite cool. Ooh, Sweden, hiya.
Hi.
And Nevada. Is that where the Grand Canyon is, I think? I'm not sure.
Not sure.
Hi Teresa, hi Kathy. So anybody just joining, we're going to get started in a couple of minutes. We're just going to wait for everybody to get joined. So for anybody that's wondering, this is Debbie, she's my twin. So Debbie's made one bag before, so this is going to be her second bag. She's going to be doing like a lot of the actual making, and then I'm going to be hopefully answering your questions. So probably the first question I should have asked is, can you all hear me okay? We couldn't get the external mic set up, so we're just using the phone. I'm really hoping you guys can hear me okay. Hopefully.
Is that Vancouver, Chicago?
Oh, thanks, Shelley. I love Highland cows. Even though we don't have them in Cornwall, love them anyway. I love that. Just had the quickest shower. And eating tea.
I thought that said
Vegas.
hi from KFC, but it's NYC. Totally different. I was thinking
Totally
of food.
Sound is fine. Okay, we're good. Okay, so it's 5 o'clock, so we'll get started. So in the last session, we covered like preparation and choosing fabrics. So hopefully you've all got your fabrics chosen and you've all decided on your hardware and that kind of thing. So today we're going to be cutting out and interfacing the bag. So we've got a few fabrics that Debbie chose with your help last week. So for the lining, we've got this waterproof canvas. So this doesn't need any interfacing. So it's 300 denier, but it's still heavy enough that we don't need to interface it. So we're just going to cut that. So that's great, because interfacing you kind of want to keep to a minimum because it's very boring. So for the main exterior, she's got the seahorse canvas fabric. So we are going to interface this. And then we've got the cork, which is just ready to go. It's like 1mm thick cork, so it definitely doesn't need any interfacing. So we're just going to use it like that.
So we've got blue and white because I just want it to be awkward and have some different colours and things. So yeah.
So we're going to have different bits, different colours. So for the canvas, we're going to be using Vilene G700 interfacing, which is basically the same as SF101 in the States. I think there's loads of other alternatives that you use in the States, but Vilene G700 is like the most common here. Then we have like a few unnamed brands as well. So that's what we're going to use for the seahorses. Now, I know a lot of people cut their fabric and then they cut their interfacing and then they fuse them together, but I don't do that because I don't want to have to cut everything out twice. So I'm going to show you how I block interface, or how I think block interfacing is done. I've got to be honest, I've never actually figured out whether this is block interfacing, but this is my version of it. So actually, before we start this, we need to decide which parts of the bag you're going to use which fabrics on. So do you want to grab that one, Liv? Okay, so for your exterior, like with this one, I've used just 2 fabrics. I've used vinyl for the base and for the straps, and this canvas for the rest. So we've got to pick out which pieces we want to use which fabrics for. So you wanted to use the seahorses for the main, didn't you?
Yeah, the front and back doing the seahorses.
So hopefully you've got your cutting chart all cut out. This is like really helpful for this section. So the first piece to choose is going to be your main panel. So this is called the exterior main. It's piece A on the sheet. So it's at the very top. So you've got to decide what you want for that. You're going for seahorses, yeah?
Yep.
And just mark it down on your sheet what you're going to have. This just feels like the simplest way for us. Okay, piece B is the base overlay. You're going to have to forgive the fact that this bag has stains on it from... I didn't realise that my husband had varnished the shelf I put it on. So there you go. Okay, so piece B is your base overlay. So you need to choose which fabric you're going to use for this. If you've got some like vinyl or cork, this is a great option because the base will get some wear on it. So,
so I'm going for the blue cork because it's the darker colour.
Okay, so that is piece B.
Yep.
Piece C is the exterior sides. So you can have that as a contrasting fabric, or you can have it as the same as the exterior mains.
So I'm going for white cork on the sides.
Okay. Next is your lining top, which is these little pieces just in here. So I'll just do up the zip so you can see. So it's these 2 pieces on either side of the zip. That is piece D, your lining top. So you need to choose a fabric for that. Now, if you're using a domestic sewing machine like me, I would really recommend using like a cotton or canvas for that, because if you use vinyl or cork for these pieces and you're using vinyl and cork anywhere else, it will get really bulky and your top stitching is just going to be more difficult. So for those 2 lining top pieces, if you're using a domestic machine, I would use cotton or canvas. So
I'm going for the seahorses as well. That bit.
Okay, next up is your crossbody strap, which is piece E. It is piece E, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
So for your crossbody strap, you're probably going to want, if you've got it, vinyl, cork, something like that, something that's going to stand up to a lot of wear. And, oh my goodness, I just read, sorry, I just got a comment from my husband going, there are Highland cows in Cornwall, Joe. That's so random. So an earlier comment. I was just checking that there's no comments that I've missed, and that's what came up. Right. Okay. So next is just.
I'm actually using seahorses for this simply because we don't have long enough pieces of cork, do we? Because none of our corks are long enough.
Okay. So your crossbody strap is 55 inches, and the reason I made it 55 inches is because cork and vinyl almost always comes in 54 inch or 55 inch wide. So if you buy half a metre of vinyl, it will be 55 inches wide, which means you can cut your crossbody strap right across. But we have been using that cork and not paying attention, and we just cut it out other pieces, and we now don't have the widths to do that. So we're going to use canvas instead, because although you can join cork and vinyl together, you kind of end up with like a nice big bulk in your strap, and it can make it really difficult to get it through the slider. So I try to avoid that. So yeah, so you're going with canvas for your strap.
Yep.
Okay. And we'll just, because it's like white, we're going to just, we'll use some Scotch Guard on it to protect it and give it a bit of a longer life. What have we got next?
So next we've got the strap connectors.
Okay, so your strap connectors are these pieces. We're going to cut them all out as one piece. So what fabric do you want to use for that?
I'm going for the white cork for those.
Okay, so white cork. Then you've got your crossbody tabs, which is piece G. Now that's these little guys here that are holding on your crossbody strap.
So I was going to use the cork again for that, the white cork.
Yeah, that should be okay. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit bulky, but I think you'll get through it fine with cork. Even though you're using cork here and here, I think we'll be okay.
Okay. Or I can do seahorses.
No, I think you'll be alright.
Okay, cool. So then we've got our tassel.
Yep, let me just check. Yeah, that's okay. I was just checking you guys haven't got any questions yet. Okay, so the tassel is optional. If you don't want to do a tassel, that's fine. but it does look quite cool. That has to be made of vinyl or cork or something that's, that the edges aren't going to fray, basically.
So I'm going to go for the blue cork. Same as the base, just kind of to add that in.
Zip tail is piece I. Now that is this. So you see I've got a hardware one. So if you're using a hardware one, you don't need to cut out piece I. But if you've got a hardware one, you're going to cut out piece I out of, I would recommend like canvas or cotton, or even like your lining fabric it could be made out of, something like that. Not too thick. Just for ease of use, but you're going to use a metal one like me, aren't you?
Yes, I'll just put cross in it.
Okay. Right, so for your lining fabrics, depends whether you want to use all one fabric. We're using all one fabric, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, piece J is these two main lining panels. So it's pretty much what you're going to see when you open this up. Inside here, you've got your zip pocket, and you need to choose what you want for that. So that's piece K. If you're having an exterior zip pocket, you want to cut 4 of that, and that will be the lining for your exterior pocket as well.
Yeah, which I'm doing.
Piece L, the zip pocket facing, is you don't actually see it. It's a piece that we use to create this inside pocket, but you're not really going to be able to see it, but just cut it out of whatever you're using for your pocket fabric. You can just about see it there. I would just make it match your lining fabric or your pocket fabric and you'll be fine, but it's a piece that we don't really see. So once you've chosen everything you're going to use, you can choose your stabilisers as well. If you don't have foam or you don't like foam, you can use Decaville Light instead, but you will need to cut your pieces 1 inch shorter on both sides. So 1 inch shorter in height, 1 inch narrower in width. For the base firm stabiliser, I would use Peltex 70, Peltex 71, Decaville Heavy, or anything like that. Anything like that you want to use. Just something that's going to make it really firm, basically. That's all we're looking for. So for our foam, we're using Styleville, which is most common here. It's just the easiest to get hold of. And then for the base stabiliser, I've got Peltex, I think it's 71F. The difference between 70 and 71 is that one's fusible and one's not, but that's not really a problem because you can just sort of glue it in or tape it into place if you need to. Okay, so we're all ready. Hopefully you can mark up your sheet like that using the tick box. You can mark up what fabrics you're using. It will make it easier for cutting. Where did you get that canvas from? Oh, it's so nice. This canvas is from Blended Threads in Canada. It is expensive to get it shipped to Britain, but every now and then I buy myself half a metre because it's so pretty. They do pre-orders only, so if you sign up to their newsletter, then you get like notified every time, and they run this one quite regularly, like maybe every 6 months.
Ordered them in this canvas.
No, because Maria, you did mean this one, didn't you? Because you said you like the flowers, so I think we're safe.
Yeah.
Okay, right, so we're going to get started by cutting out the seahorses, because I want to show you all how I interface and cut. So something to be aware of, I don't know about everyone else, but normally I don't pre-wash my fabrics for bags, and I don't think most people do. So what happens is when you're interfacing, with all the heat from the iron or the press, is your fabric shrinks a little bit. So if you cut out your fabric, cut out your interfacing, and then fuse it, you'll sometimes find that your pieces shrink just a little bit and end up being the wrong size. So I like to do it this way instead. So grab your pattern pieces.
And we're cheating because Joe's are acrylic, which is easier.
Yeah. Acrylics are so much nicer, but obviously they're only good if you're making a bag repeatedly. So we're using the acrylics. So grab your pattern pieces that you want to use for your first fabric. So we're going for the seahorses fabric. Yep.
Yep. So we want A, D, and E.
Okay. Right.
And obviously E is the strap, isn't it? So
That's not
A and D.
D and A. Okay. There you go.
Lovely.
Okay, so what we're going to do, when you block interfacing, sometimes people just imagine it that you just interface like the whole metre of fabric that you've got, and then you end up only using half a metre and you've got a massive amount of waste. So we don't do it that way. We do it like this. We place our pattern pieces on, and if you grab the blue pen, Debs, the erasable pen. Okay, so I use an erasable fabric pen, or sometimes I don't, sometimes I just wing it. But basically what we're trying to do is figure out how much fabric we need. So I place my pattern pieces on, and I need to allow some extra room for shrinkage. So you can see that there's a bit of space above and below each piece, and we'll make sure there's a bit of space on those edges. And then just, if you just mark it, it's like the edges, so we know where we're at.
So kind of at the edges, or like part way across there.
Yeah, just like leaving a little bit. So I mark where my pattern pieces are, because I need 2 of each. So then we move it along, and move this one along. Okay, so then we know that the total amount of fabric that we need to interface, because all we're cutting out of this fabric is these 2.
You've got the straps.
Oh yeah, we need to do the straps as well, I suppose. Would be this amount of fabric. So we'll mark out the straps as well, because we want a crossbody strap out of this. Okay, so do you want to, have you just marked here so we know where we got to? I don't want to cut out more than I need. Okay, so then what we need is, for the strap, we need 4 inches by 55 inches total. And I'm aware that when I cut out and have a join, you lose, for each join, I'll lose about 4 inches. So if I'm going to have a join, I need 59 inches instead of 55. So we're just going to work that out from where we were. So this is where we got to, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to cut, so that's 24, and that is 40. So I'm just going to borrow your pen, thanks. If you're doing this, make sure that you use a removable pen. So this is heat erasable, removable. Alright, and then take me back to that mark where we were, Devs.
Yeah.
Here. Okay. So 40, and then I need 19. So if you can get my 19 lined up there. Okay, so this might feel like, oh, this is a bit of a faff. But you know, it's so much easier than cutting out twice. So you'll see it quickens up in a minute. Okay, so that's about 19. So we need up to there. So actually, if we cut out that amount of fabric, that is going to be... So once you've figured out exactly how much fabric you need, remember you're going to leave like a bit of an allowance for shrinkage. Okay, then I'm just going to cut that out. Because otherwise I'm going to be interfacing this chunk of fabric that I'm not going to use, and then if I never get around to using it, or I use it for a different purpose, then I've like wasted that interfacing, which can be quite costly. Especially, we're working with a small piece of fabric, but if you have a huge piece of fabric, you're going to end up with loads of waste. Okay, so for my strap, I'm going to use the G700, the woven interfacing. Now in the pattern it says about using non-woven. I'm using woven because I don't have very much non-woven left, so I'm just going to use the woven. So they're pretty interchangeable. If you don't have any non-woven, don't buy any specially. It's just that non-woven is about a third of the price of woven, so wherever you're doing a pattern piece like a strap or anything like that, or zipper pockets, I always recommend using non-woven because it's so much cheaper. Are the templates going to be available in US? I have been trying to get them sorted with tops and bobbins, but so far no success. So I'll keep trying. I'll let you guys know, because I know there's a few in the US who would like them, and getting them shipped from Calisphere in the UK is kind of quite expensive. So I'm working on that. I haven't heard back from them, so we'll see. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is get this interfaced. Do you want to do this bit, Debs?
Yep. The least fun part. Yeah. Okay,
so lots of you are going to have like these amazing presses. I know most of the bag makers have them and they're amazing. I still don't have one, purely because this is our dining room, which is used for meals at least twice a day, and it's also the meeting room for my husband's business. So you might have noticed from my videos that my sewing machine is in a desk that it goes and it hides away. Everything has to hide when he's having a meeting, and I cannot hide a press. So there is no press for now. Hopefully one day. So how do you get the fold creases out of fabric? Normally I do just iron them, but with quite a bit of steam, normally I can get them out. I don't know. Anybody else got any advice there for, I'm really sorry, I think I'm going to butcher your name, Helena. Has anybody got any advice on getting out creases from the fold? I don't normally have a problem once I've ironed it, but it might be something others have come across. Jerry, yeah, the acrylics are amazing. They are so amazing. They save a lot of time. You'll see in a minute, they just save so much time cutting out because you don't have to mark them and then cut them. So the first thing you want to do is get your fabric ironed. So I'm going to move out of the way so you can all see Debbie. So I iron it on like a really nice high heat because that again helps it to shrink and get the shrinking out of the way before I attach my interfacing. Good question. If you decide to pre-wash your fabrics, do you need to pre-wash your interfacing? I have never ever pre-washed my interfacing.
Can you wash it?
Yeah, I'm not sure how it washes with the glue, so I don't know about that one. I've never done it, which is partly why I don't pre-wash my fabrics, because I just feel like they'll both shrink when I'm doing this, so I don't think about it until then. Okay, so I wish I had room for a press. Yeah, I would love room for a press. So I totally feel you on that one. So the first thing I do is I iron it on a nice hot setting with lots of steam. Just get all my creases out before I fit my interfacing. Doing a good job there, Debbie.
True mum.
Debbie's wishing that I had a press as well. So how many of you are actually cutting along with us and actually doing it at the same time, and how many of you are just watching and going to do it later? That's what I'm wondering. Okay, we're almost there.
Nearly. Just want to make sure I've done it thoroughly.
So I'll grab my interfacing.
Just got a few stubborn.
Right, I have got a bolt, although there's not much of it left. I buy my interfacing on the bolt. Here in Britain there's a shop, I think there's a couple of places you can get it from, but there's a shop in Bristol called S.E. Simmons, I'm not actually sure which, and they sell bolts of interfacing foam, everything like that. If you're using a lot, it's so much cheaper to get it that way, but you've got to store it, so thankfully I have eaves in my loft where it all sits. Watching, listening. Oh, watching and fusing. Yes, somebody's doing it with us. We got bits and pieces. Some are doing it with us, some aren't. Okay, so the next thing that I do is cut out my interfacing to match. So I will just grab this. Thank you. Right, so I'm just going to lay my fabric on top of my interfacing. Now, I'm not overly worried about these little edges, like it's going to be a tiny bit off the edge, I'm not worried about that. I'm just trying to get it generally matched up. And then, oh, here it is. Then I'm going to cut the interfacing to match. Okay, so I'm just going to cut off the little bit of selvage, that's it. I'm just going to cut off the selvage as well. Now this piece of interfacing isn't quite big enough, but that's okay, I'm going to do another piece in a minute. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to give this to Debbie, and she's just going to fuse the whole lot on in one go.
And is it the right way around?
Yes. Make sure you get your glue the right way around. I did that the other day and just fused all my interfacing straight onto the ironing board. It's not great. Oh, that's a good idea from Teresa, that if you are having problems with stubborn fold lines, you could iron it when damp. Yeah, so you could like just have your fabric quite damp and then do it. Liz can't decide on side pieces. Yeah, do you know, me and Debbie were discussing it beforehand and she was struggling when you to decide which
So my
fabric.
other one's got different side pieces, the one that you posted on your Instagram.
Yeah, Debbie's first bag. Yeah, you had like faux leather on the sides, which was different, wasn't it? And you quite liked it, didn't you?
Yeah, I did really like it.
Yeah. Oh, SC Simmons. When I spoke to them, I know they say that they only sell to the trade, but when I spoke to them, they said, so long as you're willing to buy a bolt, they consider you trade. So I didn't have to do anything, show that I was a business or anything like that. They just said that their requirement for you to be classed as a trade is that you buy one bolt minimum. So yeah, quite handy. Hi, Becky.
Might be fused a tiny bit onto that.
Oh, Diane's on vacation. Jealous. A little bit jealous. We live in Cornwall and it feels like the whole of Britain is on vacation here right now. So it's feeling very overpopulated. But I don't blame them. It's like amazing down here. We live in like the top holiday destination of the country, so you know, that's on us. But okay, so when you're fusing your G700, if this is your first time, just read the manufacturer's instructions, because some of them use steam, some say no steam, some say high heat, some say medium heat. So check the instructions for your interfacing. But when I'm using Vilene G700, I use quite a high heat with a lot of steam, and that is what I found has worked the best. If you're not sure, always try on like a scrap piece of fabric first, because you don't want to like ruin your only fabric using the wrong thing. Because before I've used different manufacturers' interfacing that didn't require steam, and when I used the steam it bubbled it all up and ruined it. So yeah, if it's your first time using a specific interfacing, I would just try it on a scrap piece first. I like that you already made the bag, Araceli. I'm hoping I say that right. Ah, it's already it's turned out horrible. Oh, foam quality, that is such a shame, because I think the foam does make a massive difference, especially if you're using cotton for your bag. If you use like bad foam, I suppose, it can completely just ruin the bag. So I know style wheel is kind of expensive. A lot of people use headliner foam and that sort of thing, but when I've used it, it just looks, my bag looks rubbish. So I just pay now for the style wheel, and then I don't have any problems. Need to fussy cut, yeah, headliner, yeah, that takes me a lot of concentration. That's where I love the acrylics, because I can see exactly what I'm cutting, so that's really handy. When you made your all cork version, did you still add the base overlay? Yes, I did. I did still add the overlay, and it was thick, but I kind of like it because it made the base like really firm. I like really firm bases. Spray folds with magic sizing. Oh, okay. Is that I've never heard of that, but I'm assuming it's a bit like we get like ironing spray here in the UK that's really good for getting out creases, so I'm assuming it's like that. Question about piece A for pattern matching. Is the top of the piece the top of the paper piece? Yes. So where did I put piece A? There we go. So you might have guessed that my acrylics have other pieces cut out from them. Just it reduces on shipping costs and production costs. But piece A should say, like, the writing will be the right way up. So the top of it will be the top. And I know it looks... Where's the Momexa? Here you go. You're thinking this should be that way round. But that is actually the correct way. It's because you lose some of it into the base. So that's why this is the correct way round. Should be portrait, and that should be the top of the piece. So just look at the writing on the pattern piece, and then you know that you've got it the right way around. Have you put purse feet on? I haven't, not on the Momexa. No, on my Momexa, like the bigger pattern of this, it's similar but bigger. I have got purse feet, but I've never put them on this one. So I'm just going through your questions. Never washed interfacing, but always wash your cottons. So Paula says that you're okay not to wash your interfacing, so that's good.
Okay, we're done.
Oh, are you done?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's read our next piece.
Okay, so
Going over it.
So you can see, hopefully, that Debbie has interfaced up to here. So what we're going to do now is just add interfacing to the rest of this. So I've been having joins in my interfacing for a long time, and I never have a problem, if you're wondering. What I do is make sure that it lines up. So I'm going to have a little join in this one. I'm going to make sure that it lines up perfectly. There we go. I actually need to... Okay, so I'm just going to cut out the interfacing now to match this. So this bit does feel a little bit longer than cutting out the fabric and then cutting out the interfacing. But this, make sure you don't get any shrinking going on, and it also means that you only have to cut once. Okay, so Deb's just going to fuse this piece on now.
There you go. Just remember, I'm a beginner.
Yeah, just remember this is Debbie's
perfect.
second bag, so she's not going to get everything perfect.
Hopefully some other people with me.
I see the new Toulouse 2 in the background, yeah. So you're asking about the difference between the Toulouse 1 and 2. So. Right. So this is the Toulouse 2. Unfortunately, I don't have a Toulouse 1 with me, but the differences are, so it's got a slanted zip pocket. It's got side panels instead of just two main panels, and then the side panels, you can see that the connectors are fitted quite differently, so they're kept out of the top seam. It's also got an oval base. So that's quite different. The original has a rectangle base, and the original has a magnetic snap on top, whereas this one closes with a zip. And then on the inside, it's got a zipper pocket like the first one, but it doesn't have any card slots. So, oh, and the strap is also done slightly differently. So it's created so there's no like fold on the end of the strap, so it reduces the amount of bulk that you've got to sew through. So there's quite a few differences. The similarities are that they're the same sort of size, very similar in size, and they've both got exterior slip pockets, and they're both crossbody bags.
And they're both discounted.
Yeah. Yeah, the reason I've got like the Toulouse series is because they're my discounted patterns. So they're not like the same pattern, they're just discounted patterns. So ones that I wanted to do to sort of introduce people to bag making and then sort of like introduce you to new skills that you might not have tried before, that sort of thing. So the fold is the vertical line on the finished piece. Thanks. Oh yeah. I think a lot of people want to cut piece A out the other way around because it doesn't look like that. But yeah, you're going to lose a lot of the fabric into the base here. Hi Kat, all the way in Germany. Loads on here from Europe, which is really nice. Can Debbie come to help me as well? I know. Do you like the way I got her to do all of the grunt work?
I'm not saying I'm doing a good job though. You never know. You might not be brilliant.
You're all wishing that there was someone behind you doing all your interfacing for you, and I don't blame you. Okay, I think we're almost done. Aren't we?
Good. Yeah. Just need to check it is actually stuck on, and it is. Yeah.
Okay, right. Let me just get this out of the way. Okay, so generally you probably don't sit down when you're cutting out, but we just couldn't figure out how to get the camera angle right, to be honest. Okay, so the beauty of this block fusing is that now the whole lot is fused, the whole lot is shrunk. If it's going to shrink, it's already shrunk, so that is great. So now you're going to have 2 piece A's out of that, aren't you?
Yeah.
And 2 of those, okay. So this is where acrylics are really, really nice, because if you had the paper pattern piece, you'd weigh it down, you'd probably draw around the pattern piece, take the pattern piece off and then cut. Purely because if you cut through the paper, it's not going to like guide you properly, and also it's going to blunt your blade. So whereas with acrylics, you can just cut them as if you're using your quilting ruler, you know, because you normally just cut along your quilting ruler, and the acrylics are the exact same type of material.
Should I go for it?
Yeah, go for it. Okay, so we're going to start cutting.
Oh.
So rotary cutter is always my favourite choice for cutting. So much easier than fabric scissors.
Bear with me, I'm not a pro.
Sorry, take your time, Des.
Oh, just slightly moved it.
You just moved it.
Mm.
Oh, sorry, I should have given you my pattern weights. Let me find my pattern weights just in case. I've got some somewhere.
You need tiny scissors as well.
These are my pattern weights. Rolls of sellotape, they are great for it. Okay, a tiny pair of scissors.
Just gonna pop.
There you go. Thank you.
Oh, actually,
Just haven't cut close enough.
no.
So, how many people are making their first ever bag? Hopefully, with this Sewalong, I'm wondering. It's not a super easy bag to start with, but I think I have heard that there's a lot of beginners trying it for the first time, which I think it'd be a really nice bag to try for the first time. So I'm just going to show you. Right. Okay, so because we've block interfaced, what it means is that now we just cut the pattern piece out once, which is really nice, and the interfacing fits perfectly. and all the shrinking has already happened, so we don't need to worry about now that we take this over to the iron and fuse it and it shrinks a little bit. We don't need to worry about that. It just gives us like a really nice finish. So I realise not everybody's going to want to do block fusing, but for me it's just a really nice excuse to only have to cut the pattern piece out once. I think these seahorses are going to look good.
They're jazzy, aren't they?
They are jazzy.
A going out special occasion bag because it's so white.
Yeah, it is. I know we're going to use like a lot of Scotch Guard on this to make sure that it's kept nice.
When we can go out.
Oh, yes. So, okay, someone's just said that they've got their gypsy gripper. I got this from So Hot. It's called a gypsy gripper. It is so good for like holding down on your ruler and putting down your weight when you're cutting. It is amazing. That and these little sandpapery type grips. They're not actually sandpaper because that would kind of damage your fabric, but they just kind of grip the fabric so that when you're cutting, it doesn't just slide off. You know, they're all like little things that took me ages to figure out. Little tools that just make such a difference. First bag, yes, thank you Nancy, I'm so glad to hear that. And crafty retirement, a beginner as well. That's cool, that's really cool. So if you have any questions as we go along, just ask. There is no stupid questions. That's what one of my old bosses used to tell me. He said the only stupid question is the one you don't ask. Okay, so this is the lining top. So you know, piece D, is it? Yeah, piece D, the lining top, is not a rectangle. You'll see it tapers in just here, which makes the lining fit nice and neat. So when you're cutting it out, just be aware that you want the top, so you see like the head of the seahorses is the slightly wider part, and the bottom is slightly narrower. So I'm just going to grab that, Debs. So as long as you follow the writing on the pattern pieces, they'll be the right way up, and just make sure that they're the right way up when you're cutting and that you're not got them upside down. If you've got a directional print, that's just really important to make sure that everything's facing the right way up, because you don't want like upside down seahorses on your bag, you know. Do you Scotch Guard when it's finished? Yes, I do. I Scotch Guard everything when I finish. But I keep like the little offcuts. Okay, so I keep like a little offcut of each piece of fabric, and I check the Scotch Guard on it first, because I did come across a leather once that when I Scotch Guarded it looked awful. So I always just test it on all the scraps before I do the whole bag. But I wait till it's finished and then I just do the whole bag of Scotch Guard.
Right, so next up we need the straps, don't we?
Yes, okay, so we've got our two piece A's, yeah? Great, okay. And then we've got the two lining tops done, so all you need now is your strap.
Okay. And what's nice is the interfacing is actually staying on, so I've done it properly.
Yes, if you don't do your interfacing properly, you know, because it starts falling off. Yeah, that's really frustrating. Do you want to, how wide is this? Is this 4 inches? Should be. Yeah. Do you want to start from up here and try to work down there? Just me. Yeah, I feel like that's going to be the easiest way. I'm going to get out of your way a little bit. Oh no, promise me. Okay. Right, I'm coming back. Okay. Sorry, what is Scotch Guard? Oh, Scotch Guard is that a British thing, is it? Oh, I don't have it in here. Do you know, I thought it was German, but I don't know. Because the guard is spelt, it's not got a U in it. Oh, maybe it is American, I don't know. Okay, Scotch Guard is it comes in a spray can, and you spray fabrics with it, and it makes them water repellent and dirt repellent. So quite often in the UK, when you buy a sofa, they'll ask you if you want it Scotch Guarded, and when you buy carpets as well, it is carpets as well, isn't it? They say, do you want them Scotch Guarded?
There is some kind of treatment. Car seats you can get Scotch Guarded.
Yeah, car seats you can get Scotch Guarded. Yeah. So it just protects your fabrics against. It's not like absolutely foolproof, but Yeah, we had our sofa Scotch guarded, and one of Debbie's boys vomited all over the sofa, and it just all came off. So, so I like Scotch guarding stuff. Yeah, I'm a firm believer of it. Yeah, it's just some kind of fabric protector. Shelley, yeah. Do you know, bag making's really addictive, really addictive. And also pattern buying. I own so many patterns that I haven't got around to making yet. But then I see a new one and I want more. Yeah, and same with fabric. It's a really expensive hobby.
Oh, sorry, Jo.
It's alright. You just just slide that into me. Okay. There's something. Always make sure you put your blade back in before you cut your sister. When your interfacing falls off, do you find it's because you had too much heat or your heat was too low? Yeah. Normally it's just because I didn't follow whatever the instructions were for the specific one. So recently I've been trying out loads of different interfacings because I wanted to be able to say to like people like, oh yeah, that's a good make, that's a good brand, that works well. And to start with, I was just using like the same technique that I used on Vilene G700, and then I realised that doesn't work and that I needed to follow the manufacturer's instructions because they would fall off or they would go bubbly or whatever. So just check each one, and if it doesn't come with instructions, then you can just Google it online and look at the manufacturer's website. It should tell you like exactly what heat setting to put it on, how many seconds, whether to steam, and that generally seems to be the best method. So we're just cutting out the strap because we don't have a 54-inch piece or 55-inch piece of fabric handy. We're going to do a join in it, so we're cutting it with 4 inches extra in total length because you lose some when you do the join. So we're preempting that and adding 4 inches for what we lose. So there's one piece of that crossbody strap. Okay, so telling the difference between woven and non-woven. Let me just get my non-woven up. Yeah. I'm not sure if I do have any non-woven at all, actually. Non-woven is really, I want to say papery, and it doesn't have the weave. So, where is the woven interfacing, Debs? Where do we put it?
I'm not sure.
Okay, bear with me while I find everything. Oh, there it is. Okay. So woven interfacing has a weave, a bit like like cotton fabrics. When you tear it, you can. I feel like I'm gonna have to get closer. Hopefully, can you see that, Debs?
Just about, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so when you tear it, you can see that it's woven, that it's got that weave in it. It's just like normal fabric, like cottons. Hang on, thought I was going to get a piece there. That they will sort of like fray, that they've got this weave. Non-woven isn't like that. Non-woven is like a bit more papery and it doesn't have the weave. So that's how you can tell which it is. Woven is basically fabric, to be honest. I think it's just got glue on it.
I'm just working out how long this is.
Oh, sorry.
So that's right, so we got 36.
Yes, woven feels and drapes like fabric. Non-woven is definitely more papery. Is she your twin? Yeah, no, Debbie's my twin. Yeah. So technically, we're identical, and all the pictures of us when we're kids are definitely identical. But Debbie's had children, and now she looks older. More mummy. Yeah. I'm like, no, it's just like she just became a mum and suddenly has this mum feel about her, and I feel like we're totally different. Whereas before, before no one could ever tell the difference. So
I look all exhausted all the time now.
Exhausted, that might be what it is. That's what you get for having two boys. Yeah.
I've lost track of what I counted. Okay, so that was 36, and I think to 39.
39, okay.
How many do we need in total?
59.
Oh, okay. 39. And I've got 22 here.
Oh, that's
so
20.
cut
Yeah, that's
two
fine.
off,
We'll just leave it. Yeah.
Okay, brilliant.
Okay, so we've got like 2 inches extra. So, right. So that is our canvas all done. So next, what else have you got for the exterior, Debs? Right. You want to get your blue cork out next?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have a base?
Base overlay. Yep. So you're looking for pattern piece B.
Yeah, presumably is. How big is it?
I'd say it's that one. Yep, that's right. Okay, so for cork, if you are using cork similar to this is like 1mm cork. It's got, I don't know, it's got like a slightly fluffy back, but I think it's supposed to be cotton backed, technically, but it feels a little bit soft and fluffy. But this is 1mm cork, and this is absolutely fine without interfacing. Doesn't need it at all. I mean, we're going to use like the stabilisers, the foam, but it doesn't need interfacing. So we just cut that straight out. Do you want some pattern weights on there?
I should be faster at this by now.
I don't know. I never get faster at cutting out. They should just weigh it down for you a little bit. What does everybody else use for pattern weights? Sometimes if I get really desperate, I use my phone or just whatever I can find in the room. But my sellotapes, generally, they're the most common.
I didn't quite get the corner.
Oh, I know, you got to be brave and go a little bit further.
I don't want to waste the fabric.
I know, it's hard. You don't want to waste fabric, do you? Right, what else are we having from the blue cork? I feel like there's something else.
That's that one. Just the tassel.
Oh, just the tassel, okay, right.
So that's this one.
Yep, that's the one. Okay, so I'm going to put all the finished pieces. So the idea with all my patterns with the cutting chart is that you can list what fabric you're using. So Debbie's put like S for seahorses, BC for blue cork. And then you can tick them as you do them so that you know what you've cut out, because there is nothing more frustrating than getting like to halfway through the bag and you realise that you haven't cut out one of the pieces. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that happens to. And if you laminate it, like I have, then you can use a whiteboard marker or something like that to just sort of do this, and then you just wipe it off when you're done and start again. So it's quite handy. Weight of the gym, about half a kilos.
Where are the scissors?
Oh, sorry, I'm not sure where the scissors are. Did I
probably lost them.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Whatever is available. A container of scissors. I bet that's really heavy. I bet that works really well. Glass pattern weights. I bet they're nice. I've actually wanted some glass pattern weights, but I haven't been able to find any. So I gave up.
Can I just tick all the ones I've done?
Yeah, tick them off.
Okay.
Metal washers. Oh, do you know, I've been really surprised how many people I've seen have used like nuts and bolts and funny things like that. They obviously work really well because they're small and heavy. Okay, what are we having out of the white cork? We're having strap connectors. Okay, so pattern piece F, the strap connectors. I'm losing everything today. There is. Okay, the strap connectors are going to be like these pieces across the front and back. Now you can see they're going to get cut up later. I instruct you to cut them out as one piece because then you can top stitch the whole lot together. It's loads easier than doing them all apart and then having to top stitch each one, which is just, in my opinion, a pain in the backside. So if you've got a piece that's 29.5 inches long, just do it all in one piece. But if you don't have a piece long enough, then you can go to the step in the pattern where we're actually making these, and it will tell you the measurements that you cut them down to, and then you can just make them out of that. But it does mean you're going to have to like fold them in one at a time, top stitch them one at a time. So just be aware of that. This is cut on fold.
Of course, I always forget about cut on fold.
Watch out for cut on folds. Okay, if you don't know what a cut on fold is,
you're about to find out.
Yeah. Because when you first start sewing, I know when I started, I was like, I don't know what cut and fold is. And everything said cut and fold. So, when you've got a pattern piece that says cut on fold and has some arrows, it basically means that you need to cut twice the size. So what you're going to do is like mark it out here, and then you're going to flip it over and mark it out and cut the whole thing as one. That's one way of doing it. Or you can actually cut it on the fold, which is what it means. Now, cutting on the fold means, right, let's just get a piece of seahorse fabric that we cut out. It means that you fold your fabric, and then where it says cut on fold, you put on the fold of the fabric, and then you cut it all in one go. And what happens is when you unfold the fabric, it's twice the size. So that's what cut on fold means. Of course, with like a piece like this, it is just a rectangle. You can just cut it from the measurements if you find it easier. It's totally up to you, personal preference, but
So I'm just thinking, should I do these bits first?
yeah, let's do those bits first. Yeah, if you've got the PCs up. With this,
I don't really like drawing on the cork.
I don't mean drawing on the back feels better. So when you are using piece C, which Debbie calls my Christmas tree piece, don't you?
Yeah.
When you're using
celebrate Christmas,
piece C, I'm just gonna, there you go.
It does look like a Christmas
It's got these
tree.
little cutouts, and so just be aware, those cutouts, they are quite important because they're going to help us later on with the seams. So you might want to draw those because they're not going to, you're not going to be able to get the rotary cutter into there.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I don't really like drawing on the front of the cork.
Oh,
It feels a bit cruel.
oh dear, I feel like we just lost. Hang on. A little bit worried that you lost us there for a second, but I'm not sure. So hopefully that's okay. Let me just have a look at all of these comments. Okay, put tags on the fabric after I cut it to keep track. Yes. So in my patterns, there's also a page that you print that has like labels, and you cut them out, clip them to your pattern pieces, and then you know what that piece is for later on, and you don't have to keep looking back to the instructions to figure out what piece you're using. So those are quite handy. You can just like clip them on with wonder clips, and then you don't lose them. Mounted your patterns on 300 GSM card. That's a really good way of doing it. Loads of people have said that they've used like plastic cutting mats and stuff like that, but card is a really good idea as well, and probably better for the environment. Very large nuts, and you can spray paint them. I like this idea, so you could get nuts, like nuts and bolts nuts, just to clarify.
There you go.
And you could spray paint them really cool colours and use them as pattern weights. I like it. Dumbbell. I'm wondering how big this dumbbell is that you use as a pattern weight. That's an interesting one. I like that. Hi Maggie, you just joined us after a Zoom meeting. I have a love-hate relationship with Zoom. We use it constantly, don't we?
Mostly a hate-hate relationship, but yeah.
But where would we be without it? We need it. It's great. But we also hate it.
Just doing my little crossbody tabs because I had a bit spare.
Oh, you made your own pattern weights with rice, Angela. So are they fabric with rice inside to weigh them down? I'm wondering. That sounds like a really good idea.
I just need 2 crossbody tabs, don't I?
Oh, yes, 2 crossbody tabs. Okay, right. Where are we at? What have we got left to cut out?
We're cutting out the Christmas tree sides.
Exterior sides, PC, okay. I know everybody's wishing that they had a twin to cut out for them. It's really good.
I get to keep the bag at the end though.
I reckon you're going to have to use scissors on those bits, by the way.
I thought so. I almost fell off my chair then.
Sorry, Debs, I can't cut it out if you fall off.
Oh, watch out for my corner.
There you go, I'll do these little bits for you. Right, so anybody who's cutting out with us,
You're
it's
probably
going to
quicker
be.
than me.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I do take a long time to cut out as well. I used to rush it, but now I try to just be a bit more careful. I'm not sure if it really makes that much of a difference because your seam allowances are, quite forgiving in bags because they're 3/8 of an inch. Yeah. Okay. Anybody got any questions that they're wondering about? Any questions about cutting and interfacing? I did get asked to cover, actually, I just remembered, in this session, why I have the bag names that I do. So I know my bags have weird names. The reason that my bags are called those names is because we're Cornish and we live in Cornwall, which, for those of you outside the UK who don't know, Cornwall is
where Poldark is filmed.
It's where Poldark is filmed. There you go. But also, Cornwall used to be, a long time ago, its own country. So it has its own language, which, when I looked up recently, is spoken by 6 people that are alive. So it's a pretty much a dead language, but it's used a lot in like place names, road names, and that sort of thing. And the schools use it a lot for like naming things. So there's a lot of Cornish words around, and I use those quite often for my bag names. So I kind of come up with like a Cornish word, and I look it up in the Cornish dictionary. So I think I want to name this bag like the Foxy bag, but I don't want to call it Foxy bag because it will just get lost in Google. Like if somebody looks for the Foxy bag, it's going to come up with a bazillion other things, and I'm not going to, like, if they want inspiration and they're looking for the hashtag, they're not going to be able to find it. So I look up the Cornish word, and the Cornish word is I've forgotten what it is. The one,
yeah,
I think
this
it is.
The next
yeah, because this is my next pattern. Remember, this is cut and fold.
I know. I'm just trying to work out how to keep my lines straight. So I was just going to give myself a little bit more.
Oh, fair enough. Okay.
Distance.
Yes. So then we use the Cornish word to, and sometimes if it doesn't sound right, because the Cornish language is a bit
weird,
rough. I'm going to say rough. Mm. It's very Celtic and very rough. It sounds like Vikings. That's what it always makes me think of.
Angry.
Yeah, angry. Yeah. Then I try and like change it slightly so that it's a little bit more friendly. So that's where my bag names come from, for those who have been wondering. Hi, Creatively Polished. Oh, I like that name. From Maine. Ooh, that's in France, isn't it? No, it's not in America. Above New York, yes. It's also a nice holiday destination, isn't it? Like where we are. Let's have a look. Cut on one day, sew the next. I always do as well. I'm not healthy enough yet to make a whole bag in one day, so I still like break it up. For cut on fold, I print 2 copies of the pattern piece, tape them together, and then you don't have to worry about forgetting the folds. That's a really good idea. Yeah.
I've forgotten the folds before, it's so upsetting.
Yeah, so you could, to cut on fold, you could just print 2 of that pattern piece, tape it together, just make sure one's face up and one's face down, because if it's like a funny shape, you need to make sure that it's flipped over on the other side, so just remember that. Do we need 2 of this piece? No, we don't. Sorry. Sorry, I just watched you draw that all out. We only need 1 of the strap connectors there.
I always forget which one I need 1 of and which one I need 2 of. Good thing it's a vaseable pen, and I did it on the back of the cork, so...
Yeah, if you can draw on the back of the fabric, that's even better.
Just practicing my lines.
Yes, so if you want to stick your 2 pattern pieces together, then that is a good way to not have to worry about cutting on fold. If you forget to cut on fold, it's kind of heartbreaking. But if a pattern piece is really big, then I often use cut and fold, because it means that you don't have to sellotape together loads of pattern pieces to get the whole piece. And also, if you're using like a funny shape and it's got a curve, cut and fold is really good, because if you actually cut it on the fold, it makes sure that the shape is symmetrical. So that's really good. Which do you like better, sew-in foam or fusible? Okay, I don't know about everyone else, but fusible foam for me has been a nightmare because it causes wrinkles in the fabric. Even if my fabric is interfaced, even if I fit it the way I'm supposed to fit it, it seems to wrinkle the fabric after I've birthed the bag, and then I just can't get them out. No amount of ironing will get the wrinkles out. Drives me crazy. And I've seen other people mention it, so I don't think it's just me that has that problem. So Sew in Foam, although I hated it at the beginning, I love it now. And I don't have any problems with it. Debbie, is that all your exterior done?
I think so.
I think so as well.
Here it is.
Sorry, hiding your chart.
I've also lost my Sharpie. I'm very good at keeping track of things.
Exterior sides, crossbody strap, strap connector, crossbody tap. Yeah, okay, yeah, we've just got the lining and then we've got to cut the stabilisers. Okay, so if you've got your lining fabric and it's not waterproof canvas, then you're going to want to interface it now.
Sorry, you took the easy way out.
We did take the easy way out. So we got this waterproof canvas sent. I got it sent to me by Laura from Little Stitcher Sews, and you can see it's like shiny on the back and it's matte on the right side. And I've tested it, it's really waterproof, it's really good. And it's 300 denier, so normally I think people use 600 quite a lot, 600 denier. It's just really thick for linings. It just feels really bulky and I'm not a massive fan. So this is pretty much equivalent to cotton that's been interfaced. So I don't interface it, I just use it as it is. It's quick to cut, so I love that. Right, let's get this fabric out. So there's also a stain there, watch out for that, from the lovely varnished shells, which have been a pain in the backside for me because they ruined all of my bags as well. So just watch out because there's a couple of little stains that you're going to have to work around.
That's fine.
When you're cutting this. I'll just grab that for you. It's very slippery, waterproof canvas.
Oh dear.
Do you want to weigh it down?
Yep.
Oh dear.
Try again.
Okay, I'm just looking at your questions quickly. Let's have a look. Just decided to pre-wash my fabric, just washing it now. Not a fan of foam. Yeah, I used to hate it. I really hated it when I started. And now I love it, so I don't know why. I can't help with that. A lot of people prefer to use Decaville Light, which is great as well. But it's hard to get hold of. I'm pretty sure that it's made in Europe and that's why it's hard to get, or more expensive to get outside of Europe. I think that's why. Don't hold me to that.
Do you want to iron this before I start cutting?
No, don't iron waterproof canvas. Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
Question?
No, not a stupid question, but I'm pretty sure it would melt if you iron waterproof canvas. Maybe anybody else. Has anybody tried ironing waterproof canvas? I'm pretty sure it would melt. I think when you want to get your creases out at the end, you are better off just using a hairdryer on a low heat.
Okay, cool.
So, right, let me just have a look. Made a square, turned it round to a triangle shape and filled with rice. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so for pattern weights, cut out a square of fabric, turn it round to a triangle shape, like a pyramid, I assume you mean, and then fill it with rice. I like that. Right, let's have a look through your questions. Where'd you get your large mat from? I got this from Amazon. It's by Fiskars, who this happens to be made by as well. Oh, you probably can't see it. It's spelt Fiskars, Fiskars. Yeah, it's a really nice big mat. There was a few on Amazon. Wasn't sure where else to look, to be honest. Let's have a look. Okay. Hi, Becky from Kentucky. Heritage. Yeah, it's funny you mentioned heritage, man. The Cornish heritage. The Cornish are very, very proud of their heritage. And the Cornish, yeah, it's a big thing. Prince Charles, randomly, is building a town outside of our town. And when I say town, I mean he's just building a whole town. He's planned it all out. It's pretty incredible. But all the road names are Cornish because he thought that would be nice. And it is, but it's also impossible to pronounce any of the road names or spell them. So That's fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
But that's where Debbie's just got herself a house, so...
Yeah, I've got the easiest road, which is Stretgorian.
Yeah, but some of them are like Penfen Diggin Contemplen. And you just think, why? Why is that? Yeah, the Cornish language is interesting, but the Cornish are so proud of it, which is really nice. Yeah. So leave a set with a quarter-inch extra and place double-sided tape. Oh, okay, hang on. I'm just reading Dalva's idea for cutting on fold. This is what I do for my on the fold pattern pieces. I leave a set with a quarter-inch extra and place double-side tape and put the other piece on top. Oh, okay.
Have we got 4
That's
sets?
quite an interesting way of doing it. Have you got 4 pocket pieces? Yes.
Okay, so because I'm doing the pocket on the front, aren't I?
Yeah, we're doing the exterior pocket, aren't we? Yeah. Because I know lots of you are going to want to do the exterior pocket, so we thought we'd do that and show you. So this one does not have the exterior pocket, but yeah, we'll show you. We'll do one on one side, and the exterior zip pocket is just below the rings. Hi Danielle in Quebec, thank you. Not the only one who takes several days to make bags. Oh, it takes me ages to make a bag, ages and ages. Partly because of my health, but also, yeah, I just like to take my time sometimes.
That wasn't cotton fold, was it? No.
I love JD's comments. Wahaha, it's getting away. Yes, and he's still trying to escape as well. He's still trying to slide off the table at every opportunity.
Too big a piece.
Does anyone else have problems with deckable light coming unstuck? Oh, I don't. I don't know about others. Does anybody else have a problem with deckable light coming unstuck? For me, once I got it on, can't get it off. But I don't use steam. I'm trying to think what the instructions say, but I don't use steam at all. I just use heat, and I think it's for 10 seconds or thereabouts that I do it. I do it for quite a while, or it feels like a while.
Getting a bit closer.
Do you want me to move over slightly?
I'm just trying to work out how to
Not waste fabric. Linda, when you say you iron on the fabric side, do you iron waterproof canvas? Because I've never ironed it, I just presumed that I can't. I'm too scared to try. I don't want to ruin my iron. Because I really like my current iron. I don't want to risk it. If I had a bad one, I'd give it a shot and use it as an excuse to get a new iron if it ruined it. But this one's quite nice. Right, what else? Oh, you've ironed waterproof canvas, low heat with a Teflon sheet. I don't leave it in one spot for more than a few seconds. Okay, so we can do it. We can do it, apparently.
Okay.
So that's good to know. I've always just gone with the hairdryer to get the irons out, get the creases out. Oh, but not sure if your waterproof is the same. Yeah, maybe we could just try it on a test piece with, maybe if I can find an old iron somewhere. Not sure. I'll have a look. Need to iron it on the front, not the shiny side. Yeah, I was assuming that the shiny side would definitely melt straight up. Yeah. Right. Take a lot of time for the selection of materials. Next day the exterior, then the interior, and one day to put it together. Do you know, Delva, I also take ages. What I tend to do is like get out a couple of fabric combinations I like, and then I like sit them around the house and I wait for family to comment, and generally like somebody will be like, I really don't like that combination, so then that one goes away, and then after a week I've got my combinations selected. It's a long process, but it works. And then I start making the bag. So yeah, taking your time, nothing wrong with it. The ones you've ironed are 600 denier, not 300. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to give it a try, aren't I? I'm just gonna have to give it a try. And I've got Teflon sheets, so I'll try using those. One of those. Lauren of Mormino irons waterproof canvas with steam. Okay, and she knows her stuff. So if she irons waterproof canvas with steam, then it must be okay. So that's really good to know. Yeah. Debbie is doing a sterling job on minimising waste.
Oh, thanks. I'm really trying. Sometimes I make the wrong choice.
She is really good at that. Really good at it. There's just like these tiny little off. This is like all we've got so far for scraps. Yeah, she's very good at that. Okay, yeah. So everybody's in agreement, which is nice, that we can iron the waterproof canvas on a low heat. Don't leave the iron on for long, and only do it on the fabric side, not the shiny side. It's quite interesting. Do you know? And when you said, "Can I iron it?" I just assumed that you couldn't.
I've just used up some of the seam allowance with a dodgy cut, I think.
Oh yeah, okay. What? So you just mean you cut into the slightly? Oh, it'll be okay. That's why we've got 3/8 of an inch seam allowance, because it allows for errors. Okay, so I'm just going to put this nice little pile of fabric out the way. I don't know if this has happened to anybody else, but I've had pieces that I've like cut out sort of sneak underneath my next fabric, and then I slice right through them. It's really frustrating, so I kind of like to put them to the side.
This is a bit awkward.
Right, haven't had any problems with Decaville. I do wait 20 to 30 minutes for it to cool. Yes, actually, maybe that could be the difference. I do that with most things. I like interface, and then I attach the Decaville, and then I leave it for like a good hour or so, because I need to like have a rest before I come back and do stuff. So maybe that's why I don't have any problems with my Decaville coming off, because I leave it to set for a long time. Same as you, Jaded. Delva, yeah, you use Facebook friends to help. I like that. Funnily enough, I've got my 2 nephews who have amazing taste in fabrics, and they're always like, "You can't use that, Auntie Jo. You can't use that," and they're really good for like narrowing down my fabric choices for patterns. Okay, so we done with the lining?
Yeah, we're done with the lining.
Ooh, we're almost there. Okay, we need to do stabilisers.
Very cold there.
I'm just gonna. Everything's falling all over the place. Right, I'm gonna get the foam.
It is quite difficult to cut sitting down, so I'm moving around a lot.
Yeah, sorry. I just I didn't know how to set up the cameras. Let's be honest. It's awkward, trying to have a camera where everybody can see everything. Also, now I've just realised all you can see is like a huge roll of foam. So let me just sort that out.
Just looking for the right pieces.
Right, I'm just going to put somewhere for the foam. Sorry, everyone. Okay, now if you roll it off the edge.
Roll off the table.
There you go. So yeah, we're using sew-in foam for ours. So if you...
Oh, I love it when it just fits. Oh, almost. That'd be right.
Yeah, that's fine, that's fine. Yeah. Okay, so if you are wanting to use Decaville Light instead of foam, you want to have the Decaville Light set in 1/2 inch from every edge. So I've just realised that these are not the best for camera. So basically, you want to cut it like 1 inch in. So let's take piece M, for example, right? Which is cut on fold. Sorry, Deb. Sorry, it's cut on fold. Okay, so piece M
that goes in the recycling drawer.
If you were cutting this out using Decaville instead, then you would just cut it 1 inch shorter and 1 inch narrower in width. And then what that would mean is when you stick it on later on, it will be inset by 1/2 inch all the way around, which means it's not in your seams, because you do not want Decaville Light in your seams. It's really tough to sew through, so it's a bit like sewing through leather or something. I think you can just, so you can still fit that on there though, and you can just, make sure you cut it on fold.
Don't copy me.
Yeah. Watch out for the cut on folds. Debbie is fast, can I borrow her?
Fast, she practiced it wrong, so.
Where do you buy your waterproof canvas from? I got it from littlestitchersews.co.uk. So Laura is a friend who runs it, and she's only just opened the shop actually, and she sent me like some with some other things to try out to see what it was like, and I really liked it. So yeah. I've been wanting to try some 300 denier anyway, because I tried 600 denier maybe a year ago, and I just felt like I was fighting it the whole way. Maybe it's because I'm on a domestic machine. I just did not enjoy it one bit. So when she sent me some 300, I wanted to try it straight away because it meant not interfacing, and yeah, I really like it. It's nice.
She's also got some really nice fabrics, hasn't she? I was very excited when that delivery came. It's great when you don't have to pay for fabrics, but you get to look at them all.
Yes,
Just for your sisters.
I like that, Dalva, that you've got a son that's an art director who helps you with fabrics, but you're not in agreement. That would be the worst. Although me and one of my nephews, we are all often in disagreement, and he always seems to win. So he'll like help me choose fabrics for a video, and yeah, somehow he always wins. Would Bosal foam be okay to use? Yeah, I've used Bosal in the past. I think it's very slightly thicker than Styleville. I used to use the Bosal fusible, but yeah, like I said, I could not get on with the wrinkles, so I ended up giving up. But Bosal should work just fine. And then if you're in the States, there's Annie's Soft and Stable is one, another sewing foam, and I'm trying to think what another. There's a couple of different brands that are really good to try. And then if you're in Europe, there's Cereal Bag Makers. She's got some kind of stabilisers. They're not like foam, but I think they're supposed to be like an equivalent. And I want to say that one of them's called Bubble something, but I can't remember. But I've heard that they're quite good as alternatives to sewing foam. Yeah, if you're using Decaville for the foam instead of foam, still cut it on the fold. So I'll just lean over Debs and grab that.
Which one? This?
Yeah. So if you're using Decaville for pattern piece M, you would just want to cut it 1 inch shorter on both sides. So on the cutting chart, you've got the height there and the width, and so you would want to cut it 1 inch shorter on both. So it'd be 21¼ inches by 8½ inches if you're using Decaville Light. And you'd also need to cut down your sides, yeah, so that they're ½ inch inset. Annie's Soft and Stable is great. That's good to know. I thought it was, but it's nice to have recommendations from people, because like we don't really get it here. We've got a couple of things from Annie's that you get here, like the mesh pockets you can buy here. It's not actually a mesh pocket, it's just mesh fabric that's used for pockets, but yeah, we can get hold of that quite easily. But I've never seen Soft and Stable for sale. Maybe I'm not looking hard enough. Yeah, we've got such different brands, haven't we, to work with, but they're all effectively like similar products. Right, there you go. There's one of the sides cut out.
Foam's a bit more forgiving, isn't it? So
yeah, foam is quite forgiving, although Decaville's forgiving as well because it fuses, so even if you like slice it wrong, you can just fuse it on. So that's quite good. Right, so what are we going to use for the ultra firm base? We could use some Peltex. Yeah, I think that's what I've got.
yeah, that's what we used last time.
Oh, I say that, but the Decaville Heavy is family first, so we're going to use that. So Decaville 1 or Decaville Heavy is like twice the thickness of Decaville Light. That drawer is my scraps drawer and little random things like Peltex, and it's so hard to find anything in there, so I'm just going to go with the Decaville Heavy. So you just need one of those.
Should I do it here?
So whatever you're using for your ultra firm base stabiliser, so whatever you're using for piece N for November, because you know it sounds different. Don't make that smaller. If you're using Decaville Heavy, if you're using Peltex, if you're using anything else, just keep it at the size that it is, because I've just designed it that way. It doesn't matter that it's in the seams; it all fit. When you walked out foam, it reminded me of a tip I found out really works. If you get a crease or fold on foam, just hold the seam iron about 1 inch above the foam and the crease will come out. Oh my goodness, I'm so glad you said that, because somebody asked me about that really recently, about how to get creases out of foam. So Dee Carrington says that if you just hold the steam iron an inch above the foam, then the crease will come out. That is really handy to know. Okay, we've got a base firm stabiliser, we've got the side stun, so that is all of our fabrics and all of our stabilisers. So next up, we're just going to get the zips ready. So have you got your zips over there?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Quite excited about my zips.
Yeah. We've got seahorse zips to go with the seahorse fabric, which is really cool. Right, let me get my lighter. You can just hear my rolls of interfacing getting knocked over. Sorry. Okay, so for your exterior top zip, you're going to want 11.5 inches. So with your zips, they don't have to be absolutely spot on. Like, don't worry about if you cut it the tiniest bit short.
I'm trying to work out.
Yeah, don't worry, we can add another seahorse in a minute.
It's going to be undone.
Oh no, try and cut it done up, I reckon.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so much easier when it's done up.
And we'll just put the seahorse back on.
We'll just put another one on, that can go on the next one. Okay, so your top zip's going to be 11.5 inches. We're using number 5 zipper tape because that's just generally what's used for the exterior. If you wanted to change it, generally you don't find that much of a problem when you change them out. It adjusts like the seam allowances a tiny bit. But I have used like number 3 on the exterior before because I didn't have the right colour in number 5, and I haven't had a problem with it, so I don't think it's a big issue.
And now we're going for 9.5, yeah?
Yes, and then for your exterior zip pocket, you want 9.5 inches. So you're only cutting that if you're having the exterior zip pocket. So once you've cut your zips, you can use something like fray check on the end to stop them from fraying, because you can probably see this one is fraying like mad, and zips they just fray. So I use, because it's so much simpler for me, just a lighter, and I just melt the end. Because it's nylon, can you just trim that bit for me? It's just gotten so fluffy. Okay, so because it's like made of nylon or whatever, it just sort of melts and then it stops it from fraying, which is really handy. So I just do that to all my zips. So continuous zipper tape, you probably guess, is like my favourite thing ever. I never use zips anymore, like ready-made ones, because these just feel like a lot less waste because you cut it to the exact size that you need it. So we'll just show you how to put the zipper pull on if you've never done this before.
Is this one right?
No, I think we're going to have to cut that one down.
Okay.
Have you got your seahorse zip, first of all?
Yeah.
There you go, he's in there. Okay, so to put a zip on, just pull your zip open on one end, and then, I wonder if I can get closer. You're going to have to tell me, Debs, whether I'm on screen.
Okay.
That on screen?
You are on screen, yeah.
Okay, so you just want to open your zip. And then what you want to do is pop one end in. You're just going to have to tell me if I go off the screen because I can't see what I'm doing.
Your fingers are kind of in the way, but oh yeah, we can see it.
Okay, and then you want to put the second side in. And you just want them to be equal amounts. Okay, so it's looking like that. And then you pop it down and put your fingers on the end and hold down. And then when you pull the zip, it just goes straight on. So that's how you add a zipper pull to zipper tape. Okay, so we've got both of those.
Yep.
So next up, we've got a number 3 zip for the interior zip, and we're just going with 9.5 inches on this one. So I'm going to work that off. I find it much easier with my zips to just have all the ends closed, and then if I want to I can open them later, but sometimes, like when you're fitting the exterior pocket, it can just feel a bit more faffy if the zip's open. So if your zip's open, you can just slide it all the way along, close it, and then put the zip pull back on the other end.
I don't know if I'm really good at using lighters. It's been a while.
I think you're okay.
Oh,
Just don't set fire to it.
in my hair.
Okay, so we're using zipper tape for number 3 as well, because Cereal Bag Makers in Belgium, she makes number 3 zip tape, which is really nice. And they sell that here in So Hot in the UK. So you'll notice, if you do this, that number 3 is slightly harder to get the pull on. So I'm just going to take a second. There we go. Okay, so it just feels like it takes more of a tug. Right, I've got a couple of questions. I'm just going to have a look at these. Bag feet. Yes, okay. Bag feet are quite good. And I think they would look quite nice. Let me have a look. Alright. I think you'd only need 4. I don't think you need 6. On a bigger bag I'd do 6, but I think 4 would be fine. And it would look quite nice. It depends on your taste and whether you put your bag down a lot and things like that, I suppose. But yeah, it would look quite nice. I prefer fine. Hi Terry. Made it look so easier. Yeah, I think the reason that it looks easy is because of the tape I'm using. So I've bought cheap zipper tape before and it's a nightmare to get the pull on. Where did I buy this from? I'm pretty sure this is from Blue Colour, you know, because I've over like the last couple of years I've bought zips from a lot of different international places because I wanted to be able to recommend places to customers who ask me, because I often get asked about stuff. So this one I think might be from Blue Colour because her zips are really nice. Zipper Valley, hers are really nice in Canada as well. Sally Tomato zips are really nice. They are based in the US but they sell through So Hot in the UK. Cereal Bag Makers zips are quite nice, and it's all about, like, they cost a tiny bit more but they are so easy to put the zip pulls on, and for me that's a really good indication that it's a good zip, and there's no like tug and they fit really well, and I'm assuming that they'll last longer, so that's probably why it looks easy. Oh, Terry's made one already. Do you know, there's a lot of people who said they were joining them so long and have made one already. It's because this so long is a little bit drawn out, but we just wanted to do it, well, first of all, to my time scale, because I can't do a lot in one session, but also so that like everybody could join and do, like, skip bits that they didn't want to do if they didn't want to watch us cutting out. Soft and Stable is on Amazon in the UK. I did not know that. Thank you, Susan. I might have to try some because I never tried some and I like to know that I can recommend stuff. Terry added four bag feet and it was enough, so that's really good to know. My Handmade Space has great selection of zips. Yes, I've heard them recommended loads of times on Facebook, so My Handmade Space is good as well. I think it is about the zip. Yeah, I've never used one of those tools or a fork or anything to put my zips on. So, right, what else do we need to do, Debs? Have we got everything done? Is that it? I think that might be it. I think we're all prepped. Okay. Right, I think we've got everything. We've got our lining cut out. We've got, for the exterior, we've got the canvas, we've got the white cork, and we've got some blue cork, and we've got all of our stabilisers cut out, our zips, and we've got the hardware over there. So the only other thing would be thread. And I'm thinking that I'm going to use this thread, which is Sabertex 40 from, this was also from Little Stitcher Sews. She sent me like a couple of samples of stuff and then I just had to buy more. So, okay. This is really strong, and whereas my normal thread that I use is called Coates Moons threads and it's quite tough, but this is like, oh yeah, okay, so it's like a whole different game. It's really tough and it's also a little bit thicker, so it kind of makes the thread stand out more, which looks really nice. So this is called Sabertex 40. Apparently Sabertex is different to normal tex and the weights are different, so this is a size 40 and is perfect for my domestic machine. Works really, really well, and I can have it in the bobbin as well as the top thread and it works great. But I think normal tex thread 40 doesn't work in a domestic. I'm not 100% sure on that because I've never used normal Tex thread, but this, yeah, Sabre Tex 40 is amazing. Love it. You get your zips from Zipper Station. Oh, thanks, Joanne. I did not know about that. I don't even know if I've heard of them. I'm going to have to try that as well. You just placed your first order with them. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to have to try them as well. Where can I purchase the back of the hardware from in the UK? I actually have them on my website in most colours. I don't have any rainbow at the moment, and they're not going to be in until June, but I've got them in other colours, and you can choose the standard size slider or the thick size slider. So we're using a thick one for yours, aren't we, Debs? Because we're doing... Oh, we were going to use a thick one because we're doing cork. We were doing cork, but
That's
we're
right.
not now.
Yeah, it's
So
changed.
maybe I'll just show you guys the difference between the two. So the sliders are quite different. All right, let's get up to here and show it to you in the camera. Yeah, you can just about see that. So this one has like a movable one, but this is a thin one, this is a thick one. The difference is massive. If you're doing an all cork or all vinyl strap, you're going to need a big one. Whereas if you're doing an all cotton strap, you're going to need a little one. Because otherwise, if you use this on all cotton, it will slide loose all the time, and it will keep, like the strap will keep changing length on you. And if you try and use a small one for all cork or all vinyl, it will just be impossible to slide the fabric through. So just make sure that you choose depending what fabric you're going to be using. Will you link the thread in the description box? Yeah, I will. It's littlestitchersews.co.uk that sells it here, but I'm pretty sure you can buy it from other places abroad. So it's made in Germany, and she's got some really cool rainbow thread, but I think she might be sold out at the moment of that. Hi Marisa, you're a little bit late, but that's okay. You can rewatch later if you want. Where are the seahorse zip pulls from? I need them in my life. You do need them in your life. They are amazing.
The other one, yeah.
These are from Valor Home Creations. So I'm just going to show you this. Tell me when I'm close, Debs.
Yep, that's okay.
Yeah?
I think it's fine.
Hopefully you can kind of see like the detail in these seahorses. They are amazing. So Valor Home Creations does like a few different zip pull designs. They're all her own designs and they're amazing. And she's got some retail always on her website. And then she does like pre-orders for her new designs. So I'll link it in the description. But if you Google Valor, V-A-L-A, Home Creations, then you'll find them. Okay, so we've got really good feedback on Zipper Station in the UK, so that's good. I'll have to give them a try.
Good excuse.
Because I need more zips. Yeah, I need more zips in my life. Okay, so that's all of the bag cut out and interfaced. We're all good to go. Next week, next Sunday, we're going to sew the exterior of the bag. And then the following Sunday, we'll do the lining and then finish the bag. So next week, we're going to be doing all the steps to do with the exterior. So if you've got any questions that you specifically want answered next week, you can email me at countrycowdesigns@gmail.com and ask them in advance, and I'll try and cover them. But if you've got any questions about cutting and interfacing, just let me know now, and then hopefully we can answer any final questions. But I'm hoping that you guys liked our block fusing method. This is definitely my favourite thing, my favourite way of doing it. If you've not tried it, you might want to just give it a try to see what you think. Oh, Terry, you missed out. You should have got the seahorses. They're like my favourite of all of her zip designs. And I've got a few coming because she just put a new retail on, and I've got some rainbow ones coming, so I'm really excited.
And I think there's an octopus.
Yes, there's an octopus as well, and there's whales and sharks. She's got so many good ones. She just ran an Alice in Wonderland pre-order, and she's got another one going soon. I can't remember what it is. Can link the floral fabric site. Yes, the floral fabric is blendedthread.ca because they're based in Canada, or you can Google blended threads, but I will also link them in the description as well. and they have so many good fabric designs come up, but because they're pre-order, you kind of just have to wait for the amazing designs to come up. And then if you're in the UK, just to warn you, you order them, she dispatches it like 3 months later, and it takes 12 weeks for it to get to the UK. I'm not sure why, but the Canada Post and the UK Post just don't seem to agree. I order stuff from America or Australia, it turns up in 1 to 2 weeks. I order from Blended Threads, it takes 12 weeks every time. So just be aware, if you're in the UK, you have to pay the postage, which is a lot, and then you have to wait 6 months. But it's such amazing fabric that it's worth it, so I just have to do it. Oh, Terry's got the matte rainbow octopus zip pulls. I like the matte rainbow, I think it looks really cool.
Yeah, because we've got some octopus fabric.
Yeah, we have. Is postage expensive to the UK? From Valor Home Creations for the zips, postage is not expensive to the UK, I don't think. I find it quite good. But from Blended Threads, I guess it's because fabric is heavier, it's quite expensive. Yeah, it's like you pay for the fabric and then you pay the same amount for the shipping. So what I normally do is I order 1/2 metre of 2 fabrics I like, so 1 metre in total. They're like almost 60 inches wide, so you have to bear that in mind. It's like really wide fabrics, you get a lot for it. And then I just it cost me a lot, but I think it cost me for that total metre £30, including postage, which is a lot, but it's amazing fabric. I only use it for special occasions, and if you're going to use it, it's worth it. Whereas if you buy fabric for £10 a metre and then you buy 3 metres of it and it sits on your shelf and never gets used, then it's not worth it, is it? So I just try to bear that in mind. Special occasions only. Maximum 1 metre for each pre-order. That's what I try and do. I'm really strict with myself. So this week, cutting out and interfacing. Sorry, Terry, you missed it. We've just finished. We've finished it all. But next week is creating the exterior. And then the following week is the last week, and that'll be the lining and finishing up, like top stitching and everything like that. So let us know if you've got any questions. Any questions at all about the cutting and interfacing. Hopefully we've covered them all. I think that's everything. I think we're all good to go.
Yeah, the video takes a while to upload, doesn't it? So if you're going to come back and watch it.
Yes. Oh yeah. So after we finish the live, it will allow it to upload to YouTube, and that takes up to 12 hours. So just bear that in mind if you want to come back because you joined late and you want to watch it. It's going to take about 12 hours for this to appear on YouTube. So just bear that in mind. Oh, that is tough, Delva. I can't believe that you have to pay, even though you're a US territory, the shipping is costly. What I sometimes forget about the US is that you're huge. Absolutely huge. And whereas like everything in England is the same price to post, you guys, if you're like on the East Coast and you order from the West Coast, that is a really, really long way for stuff to travel. So, I guess it's more complicated. Customs. Oh, Helena. When you order stuff from abroad into the UK, customs is complicated, and at the moment it's a total mess. It's because of Brexit, and they changed everything. So some parcels come through with customs charges, and some don't. And some have like an £8 handling fee on them, and some don't. So it's a gamble. Yeah. Just be aware of that. Sometimes I'll charge you the 20% VAT and the £8 charge, or the £12 charge if it comes through DHL. Whereas sometimes you get it through and you haven't been charged anything, so it's a gamble. That's just the way it is at the moment. Valor is located in the USA, in the States. Can't remember where. I want to say Georgia or something, but I don't know. I'm not sure. Okay, everybody. I think we're done. I think we covered it. Interfacing and cutting, done. Everybody's got the supplies ready. So in the next week, if you could tag a photo of all your cut out preparation, everything ready to go, and tag it with Momexa Sewalong. Put it on Facebook. You can put it on the comments of my post that I'm going to put up shortly, or you can put it on your Instagram and use the tag. Use the tag anywhere, and basically then I'll be able to find them all, and we'll pick a winner for a free pattern. So we actually need to pick a winner now for last week. We need to pick 2 for last time. So So what we're going to do is we're just going to scroll through and just pick 2 people. Basically 2 people, because it's been 2 weeks since the last one, are going to get a free pattern of their choice. And then for next week, if you make sure that you tag Momexa Sewalong in your photo and share it, then we can pick out somebody for next week for a win as well.
It does need to be a public.
Yes, it needs to be a public profile. So if your profile on Facebook is like hidden, you can just put it in the comments on my post instead, and then we can find it. Okay, let's go through. Let's go.
So do we take one from Instagram and one from Facebook?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so this one from Instagram. Oh, I like this. I like this combo. Is the Instagram ID is Bunford Dorsey. Orsiby. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm hoping I pronounced that right. Okay, so I'll message you and let you know that you've got a free pattern and to get in touch about that. And then if we just have a look on Facebook, I'm just going to have a look. Okay, let's go. That one. Okay, and here we've got, from Facebook, we've got Seems So Calming. Okay, so both of you, I'm going to message to let you know that you won your free pattern. You can choose any pattern of your choice. So, and for everybody else, if you do it next week, just make sure that you put the tag in. So if you're going to comment on my Facebook and put a photo in the comments, put the tag Momexa Sewalong, and then I can find you guys. So,
and make sure you spell it right, because even I spelled it wrong.
Autocorrect. Thanks everybody for joining. If you're subscribed to the Momexa Sewalong emails, I'll send out an email later with all of the requests that you've asked for, like blended threads, Valor Home Creations, all that sort of stuff. And like a little summary. Thank you so much for joining us again. And hopefully we'll see you all next week and we'll get started on the actual sewing. So this is literally Debbie's second bag. So
my sewing might be a bit shoddy, but I'll do my best.
So she's pretty good though, and if this is your first or second bag, don't worry about it because you're not going to be alone. So yeah, thanks everybody, and bye.
Bye.
Find my end stream button.